Welcome to part 2 of The Girl Can't Help It at the Brick House Gallery in Sacramento. I'm David Del Valle, and this is my exhibit. Here we have Mona Washburn, or rather should I say Mona Washburn, getting jiggy with it in Lindsay Anderson's 60s classic, If, about an English prep school that is given into total chaos by what is going on in the world of then. Sexual politics, and of course, aggressive behavior from elderly matrons is the key here. This film is just now getting a following and it's available on DVD. I began this exhibit as an idea, having seen Divine in Pink Flamingos walk down the street with a piece of shoplifted meat between her thighs to Little Richard's The Girl Can't Help It. So the one thing this show has in common is these girls can't help it. Now here we have Raquel Welch in what was considered the movie that couldn't be filmed, the book that couldn't be made. It just shouldn't have happened, but it did, and it happened to 20th Century Fox. Raquel Welch played the gender-bending Myra Breckinridge. This is actor Roger Herron, and if you look on the internet, there's a lot of kind of subcults around this actor because he never worked again, except maybe in a stage version of Boys in the Band. But here he is preparing to be sodomized by Myra Breckinridge, and she's kind of checking out the landing, if you will. Myra Breckinridge. Here we have a holdover from my Beefcake Babylon show that I did in Los Angeles. This is Sylvia Lopez, no relation to Jennifer, of course, holding on to the thigh of that amazing Steve Reeves, who was the greatest of all the bodybuilder/actors to come out of Italy in the 1960s. And he remained a box office champion until Clint Eastwood toppled him from his throne with The Man with No Name films for Sergio Leone. Now here, of course, is the most transgressive of all the nymphettes, and actually the epitome of what the nymphette craze that was started by it, Stanley Kubrick's Lolita. This is probably the image everyone remembers best because it's in the poster art. Sue Lyon was considered too old to play this part, but I've seen the movie so many times I can't actually think of anyone else that would be as good. James Mason, Shelley Winters, and of course Peter Sellers with that incredible range of his, a classic. They tried to remake this recently with Jeremy Irons and Melanie Griffith and Frank Langella as Quilty. As much as I like Frank Langella, it was just not, it was a misfire in my opinion. There's only one Lolita, and it's the Stanley Kubrick. Over here, I chose one image from the 1940s because Maria Montez really just simply transforms the screen in Technicolor. She was named the Queen of Technicolor over at Universal Pictures. And in the late 1940s, during the war, she made 5 films at Universal that were like Technicolor wet dreams. And the greatest of the 5 was Cobra Woman, where Maria plays twins. One good, one not so good. This one is the good one, sitting atop the Cobra, the King Cobra statue. But the most amazing thing about this is when she's playing the evil twin, the queen of this island. She has full makeup, her hair is coiffed, and she's wearing the kind of fuck-me pumps that were so prominent in all those Lana Turner movies. Where do they go to shop for this stuff on an island in the middle of nowhere? Sabu and John Hall, of course. Cobra Woman, the Cobra Dance, everything about it is transgressive. And Maria Montez, the Queen of Technicolor, belongs in this show, even though she's like a decade away from some of the other exhibits. Now here, we have Anita Ekberg. She became an icon in La Dolce Vita for Federico Fellini when she danced in the Trevi Fountain and put a white cat on her head. She also did another film for Fellini that's not so well known. It's part of a trilogy that was called Boccaccio 70. This was The Temptation of Dr. Antonio, and it's similar, oddly enough, to Attack of the 50-Foot Woman with Allison Hayes, because she plays a larger-than-life, as Fellini called her, an epic woman. She's on a billboard, reclining on Shay's Lounge, and she absolutely drives this moralist to distraction, and he keeps going to the billboard, and he doesn't quite know what to do with his emotions. And in an amazing scene, she comes to life, and she comes down off that billboard, and at that point, all the sets are miniaturized, so she walks around, not unlike Allison Hayes did in that film in the 1950s. Now over here, we have just that person, Allison Hayes, about to get rid of the phone company in Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. In some cases, the photographs are actually better than the films, because if you're familiar with Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, the special effects are so kind of diminished that she actually looks like a shadow. You can see through her. She's like a specter. She's not really a flesh and blood 50-foot woman. But the photograph makes you think otherwise, and I think some of these were specially posed. Allison Hayes in Attack of the 50-Foot Woman. Once again, I chose to put another shot of Anita Ekberg in The Temptation of Dr. Antonio. You can there see her gown a bit better, and of course you can see the set is completely miniaturized to suit her needs. I hope you've enjoyed the tour of transgressive women in The Girl Can't Help It, and I hope you'll come back when we do Here's to the Ladies Who Lunch. This is David Del Valle from Films in Review saying, may all your nightmares be in 70mm. Aloha.